Here's what happened, guys. There is a growing interest among younger people for a homestead lifestyle, and there are lessons that we as small business owners can take from across industries and implement in our business strategy relating to the homestead lifestyle. One of which is discipline. The other is the thinking long term in the decades rather than in the short term in days for predictability, for stability, for building things that last, something that we've gotten away from in this country, and that we, with this movement, have to continue to elevate and talk about more, which is making America's future a small business renaissance to fight for what is beautiful, good, and true in this country and to preserve what is great about this country because there's a lot of chaos that is out there and a lot of mess to clean up, but it's up to us to step up and clean up this mess. Welcome back to the show. Let's get into it for today. I want to talk about the homestead lifestyle, the increased interest in younger people. I'm going to get to a survey that was done by the Homesteaders of America relating to that point, but also thinking deeper within your business strategy. Are you understanding there's a few things we can ask ourselves. One is, do we understand the basics in all our areas of business? And in the time that we are living in, where we have AI, new developments in technology, there's so much chaos, one relating to the war with Iran and the uncertainty with energy prices, to then overall our economy and then our country here in the U.S. You think about if you were to take the time to think about the U.S. national debt, it just crossed into over $39 trillion. I've been saying 38 for doesn't seem that long, and then now it's to $39. We have this movement which is about the people versus the Epstein class. And then with Gen Z is the most indebted generation for their age group in the history of the US. So there's a lot of mess, a lot of chaos, and now there is this convergence of two different ideas that I'm seeing them come together, and it definitely connects with this movement of where we are going into the future. But we have to be aware of what is going on for a business strategy. And this is how, as small business owner, you can differentiate in the marketplace. So you have the build the business from your laptop lifestyle, and then you have the homestead lifestyle, which is get outside, want healthy foods, want to have clean air, clean water, want to have simplicity with our life and not be so overwhelmed, want to have stability within our nervous system and understanding of our emotions, and wanting to connect with other human beings. And those two lifestyles are coming together: freedom, stability, bringing them together into the future. And as small business owners, if you can differentiate and communicate this through your marketing and then really genuinely believe in it, which is so important for this movement, is bringing small business owners together that believe that believe in wanting to improve this country and the quality of life for Americans. And for me, I love this country. I hope you love this country too. And so it's uniting together and then genuinely wanting to move forward and create this vision for the future, which is a future of bringing the great aspects of freedom and choice, free will, the freedoms that we have on an individual level, and then bring in this homestead lifestyle, which is getting outside more, getting into the physical world more, connecting with other people and understanding more about their lives. Like if it's someone that is coming over who she just recently traveled, like let's say it's Sophia, who's recently traveled to Italy and now knows how to make homemade pasta and comes over and wants to make homemade pasta with you and connect that way. We want more of that connection, and it's growing within younger people. And it's this contrast with now the developments of AI and technology. And so they're coming together and there's friction that is forming. And with friction, there's opportunity for change, massive change. And we are experiencing massive change in this point in history, relating to the war with Iran and the devastation that is happening there. And my hope is that war ends as soon as possible. But the potential catastrophic results that can happen within our energy prices back here in the US, and then what that can do for our overall costs of goods and services, with the increase in transportation costs, to then having to pay an increase in your utility prices, in your utilities, the cost of gas, cost of groceries, It can increase in all those different areas, as a potentially increase in all those different areas dramatically, as a result of what is going on with this devastation and destruction of these energy sectors, in the Middle East. So within that, for the chaos and then the desire for stability, that is where small business owners in your marketing is differentiating ways in which to create opportunities for in-person connection, events, if possible, or focusing on elevating the experiences you're creating in the physical world. So let's say as an example, you're a travel designer and you're planning trips to Italy, or France or Greece. Then being able to showcase the benefits of being able to take the time to go to these different countries, to engage in the local communities, to have incredible, unique experiences in these different cultures, and then being able to spend time, if it is with your girlfriend or your wife, and then bringing even your whole family together for these trips, and that the opportunity to have space in your year to connect with one another deeply. This is moving forward into the future. An important It is going to be an important piece of strategy moving forward, is bringing more into the physical world, and especially pushing back and providing alternatives to a world of AI. And AI is out of the box. It is not going back in the box. So it's important as small business owners for us to put boundaries on this. And this is a reminder that you as a small business owner, we together can shape the future. We don't just have to adapt to the future, and we can actually help to steer the direction moving forward based off of what we're seeing within society. And this is something that I'm noticing, and it can be amplified in your marketing. So let's get to first this line from one of our founding fathers. It's actually a letter between two founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson, and then let me get this up here, John Jay. So I want to read a section from this letter. And it goes back to yeoman farmers. So yeoman farmers, there was a point in the U.S. history, from the founding to around 1860s, where the U.S. was mainly an agrarian society. A majority of workers were farmers and self-employed farmers, and known as yeoman farmers. And this part of the cultivators of Earth, it's something that we feel drawn to as coming back to as human beings, as Americans. We're being drawn back into the land around us, and being able to connect back to the land, and make sure we're taking care of the land. So this is the section I want to read for you. Cultivators of the earth are the most valuable citizens. They are the most vigorous, the most independent, the most virtuous, and they are tied to their country and wedded to its liberty and interest by the most lasting bonds. Yeah, reading that, I get a little chills reading that one. But we've gotten away from what is so beautiful about our country, and quality and taking care of our surroundings. There has been a push to focus on the short term and push on cheap materials, things that don't last that long. And when it comes to the land, I mean, it lasts. It is there. And it's up to us to be the cultivators of that land. But you can also think about that as for our country and for your small business. And so when you don't understand the basics in your small business, all those different areas, similar to when you don't understand all the different aspects of your farms, that can be that can be devastating for the long-term impact of your business. And so by understanding the basics, at worst, you're going to be a better decision maker, an overall better decision maker. At its best, you're going to be unstoppable during the tough times, during the amazing times. You're going to continue to be able to move forward within your business because you're going to be able to adapt by understanding all the different basics and make better decisions moving forward. And that's something that I felt has gotten lost, that we need to be reminded of, is the importance of the basics and coming back to that. And then truly being able to care about the people that we are serving through our products and services. Care is, for this next decade, it is cool to focus on that. It is going to have massive impact in the overall business communities and in our industries is showing actually how much we genuinely care about the people we are serving. That is becoming elevated within our society. And we have to take note of that. Instead of just getting the immediate result for the problem the problem we can help with, it's also, do they care about my needs, what I'm looking for as a customer of their business? Are they taking the time to understand what I'm interested in and making sure I'm tailoring it towards my specific needs? And so the customization is really important too in that. And so being able to communicate that through the marketing is so important and pivotal in this next decade as small business owners, because uh, the being in the middle and not taking the time to really go through that process, that's where a lot of businesses can get lost. And I see that in the next decade is the importance of really being clear about that. And that's important of clarity, being clear about that to the people that you're potentially going to be able to serve for the problem that you're solving. Then the other one is thinking again long term with homestead lifestyle, not just thinking about what's happening tomorrow, but preparing if it's for the seasons, preparing for the next few years, and making sure that you're taking the time to create strategy for the long term and for any inevitable situation that could happen that could be detrimental to what you're doing today. Preparing for that. Any situations that could happen where I think about it for like at a homestead, if you are planting crops and then you have a frost that comes in that destroys your crop, how do you prepare for that? And so, similarly, we've got to face the reality of what we're living in currently, which is a lot of chaos. And as small business owners, when you can prepare for that chaos, you can then lead by example, and others can look towards you for stability. And that includes the people that you're able to serve. They're going to look towards that stability, and it's going to be like a lighthouse guiding light for people to rely on. And I do believe America's future leaders are small business owners. And so again, by leading by example and being prepared, you're gonna be able to guide you're gonna be able to show the path moving forward, and that's can be a great differentiator too when once more and more chaos hits, because it is coming. Thinking back to the environment that we're in, it is here. So a way to continue to simplify the environment is also being able to look at different ways, both within your community and then within your industry, that you can simplify. And so that could be talking with your elected officials and putting pressure and communicating unnecessary regulations or where there's unnecessary taxes and being able to vocalize that. And that goes back to not being swayed, but continuing to hold firm in your values, going back to yeoman farmers and not being easily pushed or swayed outside of their values, but sticking to their values. And that goes back to this resurgence in faith in this country, and then within my own life of coming back to Christianity. So holding firm to that, moving forward, and holding firm to your values as you're creating your business, not just chasing the money, but making sure you have a foundation of your moral values as you're building your business and holding to those and not getting swayed with shiny objects, new opportunities that may go against your values. And that's going to be really important moving forward for the next decade. And seeking out the truth, communicating the truth, being truthful with the people that you are serving for your products and services will be so important, and owning your mistakes as well. And that goes back to, again, the homestead lifestyle, self-reliance, being disciplined in doing all these different things. Discipline is so important moving forward. It's gotten vilified, and it's been absolutely ridiculous for it being vilified. At a time, I didn't like the word. I thought it was like too harsh. But then I just realized what that did for me was it made me go through, it's now been over 11 years since starting my first business as a DJ. I made me fluctuate from different business ideas, and I could never stick with something and build something that lasted until this movement. And that is something we have to come back to, is the importance of discipline for our country overall. And then with this movement, I'm so grateful for your support in this movement. Without it, it wouldn't be possible for the growth that's been happening with this movement and making America's future a small business renaissance. So there's a lot of work ahead, but this two lifestyles of the working from anywhere, that laptop lifestyle, and then homestead lifestyle, they're converging into the next iteration moving forward for the vision for our society and for our country. And we can, as small business owners, if we can harness that and channel that massive change into a direction that increases the overall quality of life of all Americans, as best we can, like that is where this renaissance can flourish across our country, and then from there across the world. So that gets me really excited. Before I forget, let me share with you this survey from Homesteaders America. I'm going to share two sections of it. The first one is this graph, and you can see from this graph that roughly 49% are millennials and Gen Z for homesteaders, and that is where I see the trend or see this growth in this specific lifestyle, a homestead lifestyle, and where that can translate into these different areas of wanting clean food, clean air, clean water, being able to be self-reliant, local produce, being able to connect with your community, connect with your neighbor. That is where I get the sense, where I see this growth happening with this movement. And then let me share with you another one right here. Oh, come on. Here we go. Okay. And then here's another one. So when asked the question, what prompted you to begin Homestead, over 59% people say that food security is what prompted them to begin their homesteading journey. About 58% of folks said that healthier food was a reasoning, while 56% said longing to live a more simplistic lifestyle was their reason. And those two points, so simple lifestyle, healthy foods, talked about before with this movement, that these two lifestyles are coming together. The laptop lifestyle and the homestead lifestyle, they're coming together with what is going to be the next one, which is a future, which is a small business renaissance. That's what the goal is with this movement and what we're continuing to push. And we're seeing that. And then again, around 52% of responses state that government unrest and policies cause them to begin their homesteading journey, for the other point. So this gets me excited for the movement that this movement that is growing. It's an exciting, powerful movement to make America's future a small business renaissance. There's a lot of opportunity here in the chaos for a renaissance to happen, but we got to work together. We got to unite together for those of us that care about this country, that want to see this country continue to improve, and want to improve the quality of life of Americans. And we got to work together, unite, and be able to move towards this future, because small businesses are the heart of the economy, and we cannot forget that. If you are a small business owner who wants to connect with other small business owners in person, then you can join us on January 14th and 15th in Charleston, South Carolina at afuturefest.com. This is how you can register. And I'm excited to be able to see you there. The plan is to have over 300 small business owners across industries and across the country coming together, talking about the future, talking about ways and strategies to implement moving forward into the future, and in all our different areas of business. And that gets me really excited for what's coming ahead for the innovation. And again, bringing the two, technology, the physical and the virtual world, bring those two together, and being able to move forward and make the physical world the priority. Also make humans the priority. Number one. So excited about that one. All right, guys. Happy Friday. I will see you guys next week.